In the annals of unsolved crimes, few cases are as chilling as that of the Shadow Men, a phantom-like figure who stalked the streets of a small Midwestern town in the late 1980s, leaving a trail of terror and unanswered questions in his wake. For years, whispers of his existence have haunted the community, but concrete evidence has remained elusive. Today, we delve into the mystery that has baffled investigators for decades. Is an unidentified serial killer still at large? It was a crisp autumn evening in 1987 when the first victim was found. Sarah Thompson, a 23-year-old waitress, was discovered in an alleyway behind the diner where she worked. The cause of death was strangulation, but what puzzled detectives was the lack of physical evidence. No fingerprints, no DNA, nothing to tie the killer to the scene. It was as if the perpetrator had vanished into thin air. Over the next 18 months, 4 more women fell victim to what authorities believed was the same killer. Each crime scene was meticulously clean, devoid of the usual traces that would lead to a suspect. The only link between the murders was a shadowy figure reported by witnesses in the vicinity of each crime, always described as tall and thin, wearing dark clothing and moving with an almost supernatural grace. This elusive specter soon earned the moniker the Shadow Man. As fear gripped the town, residents began to change their habits. Streets that once bustled with nightlife became deserted after dark. Women traveled in groups, clutching pepper spray and looking over their shoulders. The local police force, overwhelmed and out of their depth, called in the FBI. But even the federal agents were left scratching their heads. Special Agent Robert Carlson, who led the investigation, recalls the frustration. "We had nothing to go on," he says, shaking his head. No DNA, no fingerprints, not even a clear description. It was like chasing a ghost. The Shadow Man seemed to revel in his ability to evade capture. Taunting letters began to arrive at the police station and local newspaper offices. Written in a distinctive, spidery hand, they contained details of the crimes that only the killer could know. Forensic analysis of the paper and ink proved fruitless. The materials were common and untraceable. As suddenly as the killings had begun, they stopped. The last confirmed victim was found in March of 1989. Linda Martinez, a 19-year-old college student. Her body discovered in a park on the outskirts of town. The Shadow Man's reign of terror appeared to be over, but the questions remained. Who was he? Why did he stop? And most importantly, where is he now? In the years that followed, the case went cold. Leads dried up, and the investigation stalled. But for the families of the victims and the residents of the town, the Shadow Man remained a dark presence lurking in the corners of their minds. Detective Sarah Reeves, who inherited the case files in 2010, believes the killer may still be out there. Serial killers don't just stop, she explains. They might go dormant for a while, but the urge to kill is always there. It's possible he moved to another area, changed his MO, or is simply biding his time. Reeves has spent the last decade combing through old evidence, re-interviewing witnesses, and applying new forensic techniques to what little physical evidence remains. Her dedication has uncovered some intriguing leads, but nothing concrete enough to make an arrest. One theory that has gained traction in recent years is that the Shadow Man was not a local, but a drifter who moved from town to town. This could explain the lack of connection to the victims and the sudden cessation of killings in the area. FBI profilers have suggested that he may have continued his spree elsewhere, adapting his methods to avoid detection. Another possibility is that the Shadow Man is dead. Some speculate that he may have been involved in a fatal accident or succumbed to illness, taking his secrets to the grave. But without a body or a confession, this remains mere conjecture. The advent of genetic genealogy has breathed new life into many cold cases, but the Shadow Man's crimes predate the widespread use of DNA evidence. The lack of genetic material has hampered efforts to use this revolutionary technique to identify the killer. Despite the passage of time, the case continues to captivate the public imagination. True crime enthusiasts pore over the details, spinning theories and debating the killer's identity on online forums. Amateur sleuths have taken up the mantle, conducting their own investigations and presenting their findings to law enforcement. One such amateur detective is Mark Simmons, a retired librarian who has spent the last 5 years researching the case. "I believe the Shadow Man is still alive," Simmons asserts. "There are too many unanswered questions, too many loose ends. Someone out there knows something, and I'm determined to find them." Simmons has compiled a database of similar crimes across the country, looking for patterns that might point to the Shadow Man's continued activity. While he's uncovered several intriguing cases, none have been definitively linked to the original murders. For the families of the victims, the uncertainty is a constant source of pain. Mari Thompson, Sarah's mother, speaks for many when she says, "Not knowing is the hardest part. Is he still out there? Is he watching us? Will he ever face justice for what he's done?" The Shadow Man case serves as a stark reminder of the limitations of forensic science and the challenges faced by law enforcement in solving complex crimes. It also highlights the enduring impact of unsolved murders on communities and the loved ones left behind. As technology advances and new investigative techniques emerge, there is hope that the Shadow Man's identity may yet be uncovered. Until then, he remains a specter, haunting the edges of our collective consciousness. A reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we can't see. The question lingers, unanswered and unsettling. Is an unidentified serial killer still at large? For now, the Shadow Man retains his mystique. A dark figure lurking in the shadows of criminal history, waiting for the light of justice to finally reveal his face.